Hey, 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 how are you guys? Happy Monday! Woo woo! I hope that you are having a great Monday. Oh, I've got some goodies for you today. I'm super excited to share them with you. Oh my gosh, I meant to get a link before I got on here, but I forgot. So I am going to just send it to myself so I can put it across the screen for you, hopefully. So anyway, while you are getting on here, I just want to know, have you ever felt like your wheels are spinning and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to earn this prize. I want to earn this rank. I want to have this much amount of money in my bank account. But let me just go to my office and shuffle papers, or let me just try this thing, this thing, this thing. And now you've tried a million different things, and now you're like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. I've done blah, 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 and I'm not making the kind of money that I thought I was, or things are not changing. All you're doing is like wasting time. Does anyone ever feel like that? Let me know in the comments below what's going on in your noggin. Okay. So I went through a period of time like that where I just felt like, oh, this person said do this person and do this and they're successful. So I'm going to do this. And well, that person said this is what you should do. So now I'm going to do this. And now you're doing all these different things and you're not getting the top quality results. Can anybody agree to this? Right? All right. So oh, yes. A Facebook user. Up above, it says StreamYard. If you could just click on that and give StreamYard permission, then I can see your name. Otherwise, if you could just type your name so I know who's talking to me, okay? All right. So I also have issues. I have executive functioning disorder because I have 3 traumatic brain injuries. So I also have dyslexia and probably ADD, and a lot of people do. And they're just like, I don't know where to start. Or there could be no diagnosis and you're just, overwhelmed. You know that God meant for you to have more. And you're just like, how am I going to do this? Okay. So I want you to think about something for a minute. Okay. If you do not have your basis, your systems, your original, the OG steps ready and perfected, you should not be going and trying this, and this. I'm just telling you the truth because you're not going to be as successful. Okay. I want you to think about something. McDonald's. We all know about McDonald's, right? You can go to McDonald's anywhere and it's like the same system. It's the same process. You know what's going to be on the Big Mac. You know what's going to be on a double cheeseburger. You know what the fries are going to taste like. It's a system, okay? But they didn't start with all of those menu items. Did you know that? They actually closed their original place because they realized just a core group of items were their top sellers. So why not be systematic and strategic, right? And just have a restaurant with just those core items. I believe it was like the hamburger, cheeseburger, I think it was fries or potatoes and apple pie and drinks. They're core items. And then over the years, they branched into chicken nuggets and stuff like that, but they had perfected their core items. They perfected their core process, okay? So be like McDonald's and be like Nike and just do it, okay? So what is your core system? So for me, anything that I do, it always revolves around my core system, okay? Pre-qualification, always. I have to pre-qualify everybody. And I typically do that through a what? We all know what? I'm the queen of what? Surveys, okay? Everything I do, pre-qualification through a survey, okay? Pause. I know what they're interested in. Then I do a presentation or a chit chat. Overcome the objections before it's an issue. Ask for the money. Close the sale. Ask for referrals. Talk about my business opportunity. It's always the same core group. Now, within that same core group, my presentation may be I'm in skincare. It may be that I'm talking about brows. It may be that I'm talking about men's products. It may be talking about makeup or skin. But that same process always occurs. I never, ever deviate from that, okay? So number one, it gives me peace because I know exactly what I'm doing. And the more you do something, that's how you become an expert. That's how you overcome fear. My blessing method that I created is all about making people feel important and never losing another lead. and always following up, because what? People need to feel important. And when you don't follow up, it's just plain rude. But maybe you don't know who to follow up with. Maybe you don't know what to say. Why? Because your beginning step wasn't there. If you had a systematic approach, if you had your survey or your questionnaire or whatever down pat with strategic questions in there, you'd have no problem following up. Why? Because they told you what they wanted. A simple follow-up is so easy. So the way I rate my surveys is I take the person on a fast journey through my products, through finding out what they need. Maybe they didn't know, but at the end of the survey, they're like, oh yeah, I need that, right? And they're excited to talk to me. They're excited to find out what my solution is to whose problem? Their problem. Okay. So if I can't reach them right away, I've got a formula of how many times I need to reach out and what I say. And I do remind them what they told me what they wanted. So it's never awkward. It's never weird. But if you are like, oh, I don't know what to say. Oh my gosh. I'm just like telling them I have a sale. I'm telling them this. Well, did you ever ask them what they wanted? That's the key, guys. That's totally the key to sales. And you have to find the problem. So you are the solution. You're the fairy godmother or godfather that pops up and you've got your wand or whatever. What does the fairy godfather have? Maybe he just has a pen. He has his pen and he's solving the problems. Okay, you have to know. And that could be the issue. You do not have your core, your OG, your original, your whatever. You don't have your system in place. Okay. So I would encourage you, if you're like, oh, I'm lost. Okay. So to schedule a 15-minute business chit chat with me, let's get you on track. I'll tell you what you need to do. Of course, it's up to you to do it. I'm also at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tonight, the 3rd of May. I am doing a Zoom, and you will learn how to attract what? Pre-qualified leads, and do what? Turn them into clients for one life, okay? If you are gaining one sale, you're celebrating, right? Well, what happened to the other people who didn't buy or ghosted you? Do you ever follow up with them? Do you have a script? Do you know what to say to them to make them feel important, even though you weren't able to get together? And then let's talk about the one person who did purchase. What is your system? What is your system for checking in on them? Do you know their birthday? Are you celebrating them? Do you know milestones? What is your process? So I see so many entrepreneurs posting all the time. And they in groups, and they're like, oh my gosh, my friends and family don't want to hear from me anymore. Well, guess what? You might not have asked them what they need. You might have just told them, I'm selling this, blah, 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 and vomiting all this information about your products or services on them. Number one, that's rude. Number two, it's spammy. And I know that you don't mean to be. I know it, okay? So don't get your feelings hurt. It's okay, because I'm going to help you. You must ask questions. You must know if they're even interested before you start telling them all about what you have to offer, okay? Have you ever been in a conversation with someone and you're like, oh my God, I wish they'd stop talking. I don't even care about this robot or whatever it is they're talking about. And you're just like going, oh, like you're trying to stay awake and you're trying to be polite, but they never asked. Did you want to keep hearing about this, or should we change the subject? Honor the other person. Find out what they're interested in, okay? So I think that's number one. It's super important. And I see these people posting in groups, and they're like, I'm posting about my products all the time and nobody's buying. Guys, I have to tell you something. Today, you can't just post and say, okay, I use these heat wraps. Okay, this is CBS probably. So I can't just show up and start posting about my heat wraps and expect everyone to say, oh, I need that, and buy it, okay? So there's a systematic approach to when you're working virtually. I have been virtual 9 years before it was the cool thing to do. And I must tell you, that showing you this right now, that may make you think, oh my gosh, I do have tape muscles. I could use one of these, okay? But now you're going to go clean up after the dog. The kids have drawn on the walls with crayon. Your husband needs something, or your wife needs something, blah, 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 blah. And it's gone. You forgot until when? Until I message you and say, hey, I wasn't sure if you saw my post earlier about tape muscles. I know that you are gardening. I wasn't sure if this is something you would be interested in hearing more about. Please let me know your thoughts. see, I asked him or her if they were interested. And I also gave a little cue like, oh, I know you're gardening. What do we know about gardening? It can be hard on our muscles, right? Did you see how I kind of just slipped that in? Okay. So there's a whole process to running your business. And once you have your systems in place and they are running in the background, you are golden. I have so much time freedom because I put forth the time and effort to get my things and my ducks in a row, right? So what's your method? Do you have a method of pre-qualifying? What do you do once you get the information? Are you making people wait? Or are you scheduling something? Or maybe you're intimidated to talk to them, okay? So ask yourself these questions. But there's one more thing that I want to leave you with. Are you afraid of success? Are you? Are you afraid of really how great you can be? Because I talk with a lot of people and they tell me all their dreams. And then I see how they are like almost, it feels like, or it seems like intentionally sabotaging themselves. And I don't want you to do that. But you know what? I know I was afraid of success. What was I afraid of? I was afraid, well, how much time is this going to take? Can I do it with 3 brain injuries and dyslexia and all this stuff? Can I? What if I'm not good at it? How many people would I let down? And then I decided that, you know what? I won't know if I'm good at it until I try it. Well, I would never want to let people down on purpose, right? But I would hope that if I wasn't good at it, people would give me grace. But I only have this little time on earth. I only have my dash. You hear me talk about that dash all the time. And what if I waste my dash? And then I get to heaven and God's like, hey, you were supposed to do all this. And I'm like, oh man, send me back. Use your dash wisely, guys. Use your dash, you know? So I'm sure that there are things, burning desires inside of you, and you've been holding yourself back because maybe your kids, maybe your grandkids, maybe this, maybe this. Find a way, make a way. That's what entrepreneurs do. Even if there's a lot going on, you can be successful in your business. As a matter of fact, the most successful people are the ones who are busy. Why? Because you have to plan your time. People who are not busy, they have all the time in the world. And how easy is it to say, oh, no rush. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Maybe next Thursday. Maybe when it's a hailstorm. Maybe when it's a snowstorm, right? It's so easy to just put it off, right? Think about a Saturday. Okay, let's think about it as a Saturday. And on that Saturday, you have to take your kids to a birthday party. You know, I'm thinking, you know, the way the world used to be. A birthday party, a soccer game. You needed to go to the grocery store because your in-laws are coming for dinner, right? And you had to go make a return at Target. You had these 4 things to do. So you planned out your day. You got up at this time, got breakfast, got the kids ready, blah, blah, blah. You did all of this and you accomplished so much. Now let's think about a Saturday where you had nothing to do. Maybe throw a load of laundry in, right? So you're in your jammies. You probably never, well, this would be me. I never change out of my jammies. So all day in my jammies, right? And I'm like, oh, I'll just lay here, watch whatever. I'll be on Facebook or I'll make a couple texts and, oh, maybe I'll just do the laundry tomorrow. And you just don't accomplish a whole lot. Why? Because there was nothing planned. There was no urgency, okay? So I'm telling you, if you are super busy and you're watching me, get it done. You can use your plan sheet that I always talk about and do a time assessment. And if you're like, what are you talking about? Again, schedule a free 15-minute business chit chat with me and I will give you some tips, some solutions for your business. But I am starting to set a timer now and I will go to the max of 20 minutes, but I won't go over that because I've been giving so much free stuff. Some people I've talked to for an hour and, you know, I have to be conscious of my time. I did a time audit last week and I was like, oh man, I talked to people for way too long. So 20 minutes max. And so make sure that I have a survey and I know exactly what I'm going to talk to you about. And if you have questions, you come prepared with those. Okay. So I hope that this was helpful. So who's going to get their core things ready? Okay. And if you're like, what? I don't even know how to make a survey. Well, I have a course I can teach you. It's a pre-made course. You watch a video, a couple of videos, and in 45 minutes, you can create your survey or your feedback. Surveys that sell, feedback to close. You know, I'll walk you all the way through those steps. But are you ready? Are you ready to not only change your life and your family's life, but are you ready to change other people's lives? Because let me tell you something, you are going to be so amazed. Once you find out what people are interested in, it is so easy to have a chit chat and just solve their problem. Oh, your back is tight. Oh my gosh, look, I have this. I'd love to share this with you. Are you interested? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, it's 20 hours of pain relief. You slap it on here like that. What do you think about that? Oh, yeah, that's great. Okay, it's $25,000. All right. You're going to change people's life. I help that person with pain relief, right? How many people can your product or service help? How many lives can you change when you show up systematically? Okay. And I'm not saying don't listen to a bunch of people. All I'm saying is get your systems in place, perfect it. Okay. Perfect your core group and then start saying, okay, well, this person mentioned that they do this, then incorporate it. Test it out for 21 days. It may or may not work for you. If it does, great. If it doesn't, okay, then you don't have to do it again. But you really need to give everything 21 days. My last tip before I go, I have a lunch date with my little one, is, there's a lot of ideas that come into your noggin, or you probably follow tons of people. I know I'm not the only one, right? And you get all these ideas. Have a notebook, right? And I always say, draw a line on it. And on the left, you just write ideas. Okay. And on the right, you can write implement, because ideas are things that might be good in the future. But what you're going to implement is what you're actually going to do. So if I just told you that you need a survey, on the right, it would be survey. Okay. If I told you that you needed to have a business chit chat with me, it would be, schedule this with Erica. Oh, hey, Facebook user, I will post that below here so you can schedule that. So I'm not sure. I'm streaming in 3 places. Look how techie I am. All right. So you may be watching me on YouTube. You may be watching me in my Business Talk for Women group, or you may be watching me on my Facebook page. So wherever you are, I'm going to post this here. But if you're in my Business Talk for Women group, just search across the top for 15 minutes and it will pop up. And if you want to be with me tonight, of course, you can ask me questions on Zoom. It'll be about an hour and it's going to be 8 o'clock. And I'm going to show you how to attract pre-qualified leads to you. Pre-qualified, that means that they are interested in your product or service. They can possibly, most likely, afford your product or service, okay? And I'm going to show you how to get those systems in place. That's automatic. So you're not struggling every time. Your business should be running like a machine in the background. So when I pop off here, I'm going to put them in the comments, and I hope to see you tonight or on a business chit chat. All right, make today powerful. I know this was a lot to digest, but you needed to hear this, okay? And you needed to know that you don't have to scramble anymore. Your business can be super, super easy. Get your system set up so that in case anything happens in life, look, we got a pandemic going on, right? You're set. You're not going to be scrambling. Okay? Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching me and have a great day. Hope to see you later tonight. Bye.